All right, and what is up, everybody? Live at 2:06, as I have been advertising as always. We are back with the UFC Fight Night show, breakdown show. It's from Kansas City this week, land of Invicta, home of the brave. We got Holloway versus Allen as the main event. Gillian Robertson is fighting this week, so you do know what my pick is going to be there, but I will explain my reasoning behind it as well. And we have some other fights. Before we get started, though, Lou, how pumped are you for a 14-fight UFC card, as we hoped?
I'm always pumped for fights. It's been a weird week for me. I was playing rummy against my girlfriend the other day, and she won the first round, like no problem. And the second round, she didn't shuffle right, and I was going to win the round if she had. And then the third round, I thought I won, but I ended up losing the game. So in protest, I have gone on rummy Twitter and just let people have it. I'm protesting. We did win game of the night. So we got a rummy, a rummy night bonus, which was great. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to protest because my ranking is going to drop now for losing that rummy game.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay. If I go off about it on Twitter enough, maybe something will happen. But anybody that tells me I'm wrong is getting blocked instantly.
Good. It's a good way to approach it. The Chris Curtis approach to things here.
Hopefully, who's that? I don't know who that is.
He had a fight last. It was a great fight. That was the fight of the night. By far the best fight of the night.
Okay. My situation is just 100% different than his, I guess.
Yeah, no headbutts were involved. Good. Well, none that we're going to talk about on stream were involved. Lego, my ego stream sense. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are y'all? Oh yeah, Lego my 2 ego, purposely misspelled to avoid copyright infringement. I do my best to try and keep things above board on this channel. But man, I appreciate you having me here. What's up, boys? Lou, chat, what's going on, man? Pumped for this card. It is Mecha Week finale. Shout out to Mr. Arkansas. So I will be pretty much worthless on this stream. I will be very non-committal on a few fights and might just straight up lie about who I'm picking on a couple others. But I will give you my honest assessment on both fighters and how I feel they can win the fight, and give you my betting perspective too. So happy to be here.
Yeah, fair enough. And there is an LFA this week. I will be covering that with Lucky Locks tomorrow. So if you do like money, I would suggest you stick around and watch that tomorrow. And if you can bet LFA, I would follow our leads on those. Usually when we're together, pretty good results. I'll also do my PFL predictions during that video. So PFL will not get their own video for the whole year, I've decided. They're just going to be tagged onto videos. So take it or leave it. That's fine. You can take it or leave it with our info, but everybody here has been pretty straight up here. So might be more of a discussion style breakdown today, because honestly, there are not many spots I'm going to be getting my money involved with on this card. I just can't do it. And if I have to explain it right here with Jocelyn Edwards and Lucy Podolova, you're at the wrong channel. I'm not going to put my money behind either one of these women to any extent. Most likely, we see the new improved grappling of Lucy Podolova of SBG Grappling, because now SBG Grappling does grapple. So, Moist SB Grappling for the win, he says. Podolova, she looked much better in her return to the UFC against Yanan Wu, however, but got the finish there, used her wrestling, got the back control, and got a finish from back mount, the classic women way. Not too many men are getting finishes that way. I'll just say that. Otherwise, has faced a pretty low level of competition other than Toledo Bernardo, who beat her pretty handily by decision over the Octagon. With Jocelyn Edwards, she's had a weird career. She's on a 2-fight win streak coming into this fight against Roma Pascal and Jin Yoon Kim. And it was a split with Jin Yoon Kim. Pudilova's smaller. I don't know how this fight looks on the feet exactly. I think that Jocelyn Edwards would be the more active of the two. So if Pudilova is struggling to get this fight to the cage, is struggling to get this fight to the ground, I do think Jocelyn Edwards can edge out a decision. So I'm going to go with Jocelyn Edwards here. I just can't quite get behind this wrestling phenom that is Lucy Pudilova. $0 of my money will ever touch this fight. I assume it's the over, which, by the way, as Lou knows from last week, I bet the over on every fight. It turned out very, very well. So, booyah, everybody. And there was a few fights I did leave up.
You didn't bet the over on the Garcia fight.
That is correct. No, I did not. But either way, you know, I'm going to keep that approach this week. If anything, the over would be my side on this. But I'll take Jocelyn Edwards to be able to wrestle good enough. I don't know, though. This fight sucks. Lou?
Yeah, I'll just give some anecdotes during the card just to make this a little more entertaining, to make the card more entertaining. Do you remember, like, when Pudilova's last time they announced this? And the picture that, like, Marcel posted, she looked like a crack addict.
Yes.
And then she complained. This picture is not much of an improvement. This just looks like less crack or worse crack. I can't determine it. Yeah, bet the split decision here. Like, just bet it both ways. If Pudilova, we don't know for a fact that she's going to go grapple heavy here. We don't. Like, Wu Yanan stinks. So, you know, if she saw on tape, okay, maybe that's an opening. Edwards at least has better takedown defense. If it stays on the feet, I'd favor Edwards. She throws a lot of volume. She doesn't land a lot of volume, but neither does, you know, my homegirl Chikagian, and it doesn't matter. Like, as long as you throw a lot of volume, you get those optics. I think Edwards probably wins 29-28 here. Maybe Pudilova gets a takedown at the end of a round with, like, hardly any
thoughts on the DK, the line value? Oh, I thought he meant for draft. Is this for DraftKings? He's saying she'd be a good play?
Yeah, and I mean, she's going to be low owned, but I'll tell you right now, on a card like this, you're going to see, this isn't like a pay-per-view we've had recently where, like, you can kind of predict what the upper half of the slate's going to do. You're going to get some weird results. Like, you're going to get a couple of people in, like, that 7,000 range putting up abnormal scores, and that's, like, what wins you a lineup this week. So, weirdly enough, I would almost say rule nobody out of your lineups this week. It's, like, really bizarre. I mean, Pudilova has the grappling upside, I guess, but not for her price tag. I mean, so I'll say Edwards wins. I'll bet the split if I have to have a bet in. Spoiler alert, I won't.
Yeah, I won't either. All right.
But I do have 5 Yam Bags fights picked out. You know, my dude Stubborn Mick and I were talking earlier today. So as we get to those fights, I will tell you the ones that
do not besmirch the name Zhang Li like this. Zhang Li is better than all of us. Not a bot. How dare you? Speaking of bots, 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this one? Which how gross is it?
First of all, I very much resent that implication. No, so this one, dude, I agree with you. What you said about, like, not wanting to get too heavily invested in this. Not that I ever do anyway, but seriously, like, there is not one line that's, like, over -250. It seems like there's a lot of traps. This is low level women's MMA. I would say dog or pass, but for me, this is pass or pass. And really, this fight is going to come down to who, if it goes to the ground, who ends up on top and who stays there. Jocelyn Edwards, dude, sometimes she practically fucking accepts takedowns. She's been taken down in every fight except the Wu Yanan fight, who does suck. A fighter that got fucking smashed by Lucy Pudilova. But I don't like counting on a fighter to, like, show their improvements that they've only shown in one fight. So I'm definitely not gonna be fucking parlaying Lucy, but I think it's just pass. Like, if Jocelyn gets taken down, she's gonna fucking pay for it. Lucy is really annoying at keeping fighters down. I mean, yeah, it's against Wu Yanan, but I think she's gonna get smashed with ground and pound if it ends up on the ground. But Jocelyn is good at reversing. So like I said, it's really, if it hits the ground, who stays on top? Because Jocelyn she will reverse position well, but she does practically fucking accept the takedown. So that's really what it comes down to me.
Yeah, and as much as everybody's talking about their love of Pudilova, she's at -135, plus 110 on Jocelyn Edwards. I don't really see that line changing much. We've said as much as we can about these two. Maybe one of them will pull out. We can dream. But moving on to, we're staying in the bantamweights with more undeserved bantamweights. But from the male side, we've got Gaston Bolaños. And this guy, he did fine with Bellator. He's not been amazing. He's also been fighting at featherweight. He bounced back from 2 straight losses, including a loss to Solo Hatley Jr. I'm sorry, man. You're losing to Solo Hatley Jr. That means you don't know how to do MMA all that well.
I mean, he's a boxer. Like, that's what he is.
Solo?
That's it. He's a boxer.
He's got great hair too. But
he does have great hair.
Solo is a guy that if you're losing to, it's a bright red flag. Now Gaston's going down to bantamweight. Gaston throws a lot of dumb shit on the feet that just doesn't work in MMA to me. For me, Aaron Phillips, it's very, very simple, man. We're going to skate to one track and one track only. We're going to fight MMA in this fight. We're going to push him against the cage. We're going to take advantage when he spins and take him down. Aaron Phillips is my pick over to start out again here. I think this fight goes the distance. I could see Phillips kind of bonking him and maybe getting a submission too along the way. But either way, no way I'm believing in Gaston Bolaños cutting an extra 10 pounds, getting a contract he didn't deserve. This guy's not Alex Pereira coming in here. Gaston's wolf tickets, man. Lego, my egos, 2 cents. What's their thoughts on this trash heap?
Yeah, I got just another waffle for you, dude. I got nothing here, man. I don't have a strong read. Phillips hits harder, but he's fucking slow, man. He's really slow and plodding. He fucking just eats leg kicks. I watched that one fight where he got stopped by leg kicks. He just fucking stood there and ate them. He has better wrestling. He's the better MMA fighter for sure. Gaston is pretty much a pure striker for the most part. He throws the dumb shit. I actually wouldn't be surprised. Phillips is kind of a dummy, though. I wouldn't be surprised if he just fucking spinning elbowed Phillips. But I really don't know, man. I think it's dog or pass for me from a betting standpoint.
I got 2 dogs to start out. Lou, are you joining me on the dog train?
Yeah, I want to say something because Sun Tzu brought it up last fight about money line versus salary and DraftKings to get value. You're actually getting a shitload of value on Phillips here. He's $7,000. He's one of the cheapest guys on the slate. He's not one of the widest dogs on the slate.
And he's aggressive.
He's aggressive. He goes for takedowns. He just hasn't landed any in the UFC. He's just yet to land one. Now, if he can't land one here
on a spinning kickboxer, he's going to get his back for a takedown opportunity.
I mean, he might get one by accident. Bolaños may tilt over and he just shoves him there it counts. I'm never betting this. I actually lean under on and the only reason is I think Bolaños is a gas bag and Phillips hasn't fought since 1997. So it's hard to know what
fight in the UFC.
Well, I don't know. I can't trust Aaron Phillips to go hard 15 minutes here. So but I don't want to bet it. I'm not betting the under here either because it's just one of these fights where if any outcome, if I didn't see it, you just told me what the result was, I'd be like, okay.
And Gaston was a gas bag 10 pounds up. This is 10 pounds lighter.
I mean, I think there's a chance this fight doesn't happen. This is probably the longest odds for a fight to get canceled.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing I could say, I guess, is I'll side with the dog because I guess this is a big step down for Phillips. So he's fought the better guys. He has UFC experience.
4 losses, but an experience. 4 fights, 4 losses. But
I mean, it wasn't Sean Soriano's record too.
Yeah,
they're 0 for 4 in the UFC and a couple of takedowns, and he had more takedowns. He had 2, but
this is the most confident I've been in a spinning strike since Willie Cat made his debut.
So this is Yambag. So we're giving your boy the 5 Yambag play.
Yes.
So which I'm going to tell you what it pays after we get to the next fight, but yeah.
I support that. Yeah,
I'll say the under I'll pick Phillips because you're making me pick something.
Yes.
The under is live, and let's just take here. I'm just going to price it right now. I'm just going to hit 5 of them.
Yep.
And the odds are so high. DraftKings actually says these cannot be parlayed.
Perfect.
To do 5 of them. If I do 4 of them, it will pay. $1 would pay you $194,481. So maybe
Perfect.
round robin. We'll round robin them.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Minus, by the way, minus 195 on Gaston right now. Holy hell.
Bonkers.
That's insane. Plus 155 on Aaron Phillips. You're like, who the hell is he fighting to be plus 155? Gaston Bolaños at 135.
I mean, what do you think? Should it be a pick 'em?
Yes.
Should Bolaños be like I don't even think he should be the favorite.
No, I think it should be a straight pick 'em. Like I don't know what Gaston's done to earn a minus 200 clip here. Other than he's fighting Aaron Phillips.
Phillips? Can I ask you real quick? Was Phillips injured, or was it just like what was the reason for all the inactivity?
A bunch of different. Like sometimes it was his opponent, sometimes it was a weight cut, sometimes it was that he was poor and had to work a shift at Home Depot, probably.
Right on.
Like this guy's definitely got multiple jobs. He's not coasting off his show money from like 4 fights in the UFC. So he literally has made less than probably Justin Gaethje in 1 fight.
Like a poor man's Jeff Neal, kind of, as far as the.
Yeah, it's like even poorer. I mean, have we gotten confirmation Jeff Neal doesn't work at the Texas Roadhouse still? Like, or is he like killing people and then going and like serving people bread? Like, I don't think we have a full confirmation.
Still picking up doubles.
I really hope he's walking over peanut shells. All right, the card starts now. I actually like this fight quite a bit. Not necessarily sure if I'll get to the window or not, but Bruna Brazil versus Denise Gomez. I really like what I've been able to see out of Bruna Brazil. Very good on the outside, very technical. Longer fighter, a bunch of injuries for Aaron, as well as what Zach's saying. But yeah, Denise, like, she's not very technical. She loses a lot of rounds, but like she keeps fighting, and I'll give her credit on that. With D here, she's 6-2 now. Just kind of looked out techniqued against Loma Lukmume. And I honestly think she's kind of getting a tough end of the stick again here, because I just think she's going to be out techniqued again here by Bruna. I think that she's very, very tough. Denise is. She's not going to give up. I could see her taking the 3rd round, even if Bruna starts kind of slow down and the movement gets a little bit less. But, I mean, I got to go with Bruna in this spot. She's better, longer, more technical. Lukmume was able to keep her at distance with her short frame. Bruna's a much better frame for this division. She hasn't fought since the Contender Series last September, but that was another spot where she was just very, very patient from the outside. We've seen her be able to go the distance as well. She has decent power. I think that Bruna has all the skills she could be one of the better strawweights, I think, moving forward. So I'm really excited to see her in this spot. I think that Denise is going to walk into a lot of strikes and either get stopped or look pretty good into a decision. So I hate to say it, but I got Bruna by decision as of now, but I could be talked into a KO. Lou, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Bruna wins here. Also, most likely not betting this, although out of the 3 fights we've had so far, at least this one I see a clearer path. If she and by the way, her Contender Series fight against Mann was great. Like, it was a fun fight. Like, that's what you want. Like, so I think what I like here is, Gomes is like, she's game to be on the ground, but she can't stop takedowns. She's decent at reversals. I just think if Brazil threatens a takedown, it'll leave a lot of strikes open up top. I think she's going to piece Gomes up. I don't really like the round 3 decision angle ever. I don't really like that kind of play. But it feels like if she does get a finish, it would be really late, and it would be the accumulation of strikes. I don't think she's going to head kick her out of there like she did on the Contender Series, if my memory serves me right. I think it's just going to be volume. Gomes going to keep, she's like mini Cachoeira, this Gomes.
That's fair.
Just no striking defense, plods forward, gets hit, seems to love it. So give me Brazil to win. Probably going to happen by probably decision, but I don't know. Brazil at these odds, I mean, her odds are coming down. She's down to -170. I think that should be of note that Gomes is getting a lot of steam betting wise. I don't know why. She had one fight in the UFC, so it's not like we're not trying to give herself like a huge experience advantage,
Mm-hmm.
So, and Loma's not bad, by the way, but Loma also should not be like just chucking you around and like you know what I mean? Like did Gomes get reversals on the ground because Lukbumi is like 4 feet tall and weighs like 60 pounds? Like, you know what I mean? Like, did she get it because of technique? And Loma's not like a takedown artist. Like, she's not a big ground. Like, she goes for ground and pound. She's in horrible positions to get ground and pound. Like, she's not securing mount. She's not securing position. She gets you on the ground, like immediately starts throwing at your head. So it's not a big technique thing, but I think Brazil might even have better technique on the ground. So I just don't think it's going to hit the ground. She might threaten a takedown, like I said. But
2 cents. What's your thoughts?
I'm going to try not to confuse the tape study I did for the first low-level women's MMA fight with this one. But no, I like Bruna too. There's no smoke and mirrors here. Gomes can win this fight if she keeps it at boxing range. If she stays at kicking range, if she stays at long distance, she is going to get lit the fuck up. The front kick to the body and the front kick to the head is going to be there. Gomes can have success at that range if she fucking spams leg kicks. Brazil has that really bladed karate stance, and I really don't like how she pulls her head back. But if it's at that range, what's her name? Gomes is going to be a punching bag, and in the clinch too. I watched both of them in the clinch. They both throw knees to the body, but they do not have the same impact. Bruna's knees are fucking vicious, and yeah, I like her to have the grappling advantage too, man. I'm pretty sure that I'm remembering this right. She likes to work from side control, and she's real sneaky at threatening with the crucifix and then sliding right into mount. And so I think she can have success on the ground too. I think Bruna's the side unless she gets clipped. Gomes doesn't have a shit ton of power, so I think it's Brazil. But it's women's MMA, so like if Denise makes it a dogfight and Bruna's constantly backing up, it could get interesting. But yeah, I think Brazil's the side.
All right, yeah, and money has come in on Gomes, 175 -175 on Bruna. Denise at +140. First favorite I'm picking on the card will be Bruna Brazil. All right. This fight is something. This is one of those that I did watch quite a bit of tape on and didn't learn anything after all that tape. Last week when I said that about Nuran Beke, I think that proved to be true because I learned nothing from the tape and didn't listen to my first instinct. With this fight, the first instinct was to side with Zellhuber. I get it. He was horrible against Trey Ogden. I am just going to throw that performance away. That is a learning experience and kind of a different situation here with Lando. Lando is much more, I think, aggressive, and sometimes that's to his benefit. Other times it's to his detriment. I actually liked a lot of what I saw Lando in that 2 minutes against Charles Jourdain. I don't love that he's going back up to 155 here, but clearly he's a 150er. He's right in the middle there. 155ers are too big for him, though. He's going to get worn down. Zellhuber is going to get up after Lando takes him down a couple times because everybody gets up against Lando when Lando wrestles, and wrestling seems to really make Lando tired. So even though he's cutting 10 less pounds, he's going against, I think, one of the bigger guys in Zellhuber at the weight class. Zellhuber, not bad on the ground either, not amazing. And on the feet, I just think that Zellhuber is going to learn from the mistakes, use that reach, And I like Zellhuber in this spot. Lando is starting to show some cracks in that really durable chin as well. I don't know if that's completely the weight cuts or if it's the wars here. But yeah, I got Zellhuber here. I think we see a much better version of him. I can't get there for the finish, so I do think it goes to a decision. Lando's only been finished by sub, I believe, and I just don't see Zellhuber getting that. So I got Zellhuber here, got him by decision. 2 cents. What's your thoughts, if you want to give any on this fight?
Yeah, I don't honestly, man. This is why I have this avatar. Like, no bullshit. I waffled big time on this fight. I'm really worried that like Ogden fight in the back of my head, like, oh, Lando's fought the better competition. He's better than Ogden. Like, that just keeps repeating in my head. But like, yeah, I think stylistically, like, Lando's gonna get pieced the fuck up. He's another like, he's an action fighter. He's fun. He's had some memorable moments like the McDessie wheel kick, but like, he is most certainly a jobber. It's like, is Zellhuber, like, has he taken the next step? Has he shaken off that like first fight, like nerves? Is he? It was a fight night card, so it's like, it's not like this is a pay-per-view or anything. So I would think if anything, he'd be like more comfortable and more willing to like engage and not be so fucking gun shy. But like, I don't know, man. I'm definitely wouldn't bet it, but like, yeah, Zellhuber's probably the side. He's probably just gonna just paint Lando's face. Lando's face is probably gonna look fucked up after this. But I mean, yeah, if Lando makes it a dogfight and goes to the grappling, but like you said, he could get tired. But yeah, give me fucking Zellhuber by decision.
A big boy to wrestle for 15 minutes when you don't wrestle a lot. I get it. He wrestled for half a semester at Colorado State or whatever, but like,
right.
He doesn't have wrestling conditioning, and especially there's a reason he was killing himself to make 145. I don't like guys who go back and forth in weight. So Hooper's never thinking about going to 145.
Yeah, and like, think about it like this: like, Zellhuber lost that fight, but then they're giving him someone that's like more experienced, that's fought a higher level of competition, albeit at a lower weight class. But still, I think it's like, okay, I think they're kind of like, okay, this kid can bounce back from that. But I don't know.
I agree. Lou, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, this seems like a buy the dip spot, I think, on Zellhuber. You know, what was he against Ogden? Like minus 260.
Yeah, it was up there.
It's a big number.
Yes.
And now he's minus 110. And it feels like a line where they just want you to bet groovy. Like, I get it. He's going to have the bigger name value on a casual basis. I don't know that he's the more well-rounded guy. I mean, if this thing hits the ground at all, I would think it would be Zellhuber. I got to think that since his debut, I mean, look, and we've seen people pull these kind of stunts in their debuts before. Talia Santos looked, I mean, a lot of people they get stage fright, man. It's not like he took any shots. It's not like his defense was bad. He just, you could tell he was like, he had stage fright, you know, in the lights.
He would have lost anyway that night.
But if he shows up at 50% of what he can do, I still think he can win this fight against Venata. Like, you know, you said he's getting older. You know, I don't like the lose, win guys. That always makes me nervous. But to your point, I don't really like the guys that keep, you know, changing weight classes. Like, just, you know, just get a flow, like get a feel for I don't know, what you can do is so different. The strength advantages are so different of what you're going against. Like, it's odd to me, but I'm not going to bet this. I think Zellhuber's the side. I think I mean, right now he's a straight pick 'em, right? Minus 110. Is that what he is right now?
Yeah, I think he's let me see. He's minus,
I have 120 on my book.
Minus 125 I got on my book.
Yeah, I mean, this is a wait and see thing. I mean, if money comes in on Venata and Zellhuber goes to like a pick 'em or plus odds, I'd probably take the shot. But yeah, no bets on the first 4 except for a Yambag shot.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, so we it looks like we're all on Zellhuber, albeit on varying degrees of confidence. Minus 125, even money on Orlando, Mr. Groovy here. Should be a good fight, though. Very interested. Obviously, this next one, you all know where I stand on this. It's a Gillian Robertson fight. I'm pretty sure that I have picked against her on the channel here. I'm not picking against her in this fight. I'm going to respect my source and my information, but I do not believe that the weight cut is going to be a detriment for Gillian. I think that she should have been at this weight class for a long, long time. Her not being at this weight class, from a personal perspective for me, had kept me from fully kind of believing her full dedication to being an MMA champion and not just somebody who's entertaining and good at grappling and then wins a couple and loses one to JJ Aldrich. So, yeah, I like what she's looking like. I really like Goat Shed as well, as a place for her, because they really do build camps around her. They bring in good training partners for her as well, so she's not training in her garage with Dean Thompson anymore. Like there's just a lot that I do like here. Rodriguez, she's a good opponent. She's a couple years older than Gillian as well. Gillian's only 27 years old now. And I just think that with Rodriguez, she's a very good striker. If she can stop the takedowns here on the feet, Gillian's shown no improvement in her stand-up since she started in the UFC. I don't expect her to all of a sudden show that improvement. I do think that she is going to be more comfortable, though, on the feet. I mean, she's going against a 63-inch reach here in this fight. She's been going against like much, at least 4 to 5 inches longer on most of her fights as well. With Rodriguez, La Fiera, she's got to keep this on the feet. If she gets taken down, she's got to immediately get up. She looked good against Kay Hansen, who was trying to grapple. Gillian's a much better grappler than Kay Hansen, much better grappler than Sam Hughes. I think her wrestling gets it done. Gillian's got 6 finishes and 0 bonuses. This is a card where she finally, I hope to fucking God, gets her first 50K bonus. She should have gotten at least 1 or 2 by now. Either the elbow finish of Sarah Froto when she missed weight by 6 pounds would have been nice, when she was getting her eyes gouged out and still choked out Cachoeira. I get it. I'm a Gillian stan. She's a friend of mine, but she's also a damn good fighter. And she's taken a lot of time off since her last fight. I think we're going to see the best version of Gillian we've seen so far. I'm all in on it. First or second round sub, most likely, but I do like the TKO as well. I think that she's really, really been working on her ground and pound. And yeah, I don't want to see her really mess around on the feet here. Like, I'll be honest, on the feet, I'm going to be very nervous. It is why this is probably a pick 'em, but Gillian's been in the UFC for a long time now, faced a much better level of competition. She gives her first out, finishes it somehow. So Gillian inside the distance. I have a feeling the ground and pound could really have a chance, but we'll see. Let's see. Where are we on? Lou here?
Yep.
Go ahead.
You've been listening to me all year. Have you listened to me at all? What do I say about taking these in the distance props against undefeated fighters? What have I been saying all year? And what's working is this angle. So I don't like the finish at all. And I don't like the finish for Pierre either. I don't think Pierre gets a finish. I think Robertson's pretty tough. I would lean Gillian, maybe by decision, but I don't have a bet here either. My biggest problem with Pierre Rodriguez is I don't think she's ever won all 3 rounds in a fight. She gives her round away. And it's not even like fatigue. It's just she either gets caught in a bad grappling spot, or it's almost like she takes a round off, and it's usually the second round. Maybe she's conserving cardio. I don't think Robertson's the kind of person you want to do that against. Her cardio traditionally, it's been pretty good. Rodriguez statistically has a pretty good get-up game. She's active and going for takedowns. That would be a horrible mistake here. If you're Rodriguez, you want to keep this. Every second this is on the feet. I just disagree with you about the stand-up, like the boxing of Robertson. She's going to be completely outclassed here on the feet. On the ground.
I said that.
Well, you're making it seem like it's close.
No, I didn't.
Okay. It's definitely going to be a closer battle on the ground than it is on the feet. But I think Robertson can secure positions. I think as this fight goes on, she can take rounds. Obviously, we don't know what she's going to look like. I know you have your source. We don't know what she's going to look like until really we see her in the cage. So my lean is Robertson. I missed the line. If you got her earlier in the week at like the plus number, that's awesome. She's a great DraftKings play, like traditionally, because her win condition and she's 8,200, so she's cheap. Her win condition just involves takedowns, involves control, throwing strikes on the ground. So she's a great draft. She's going to be highly owned. I'm pretty sure she's going to be very highly owned this week in DraftKings, but I would favor Robertson decision just because the angle's working for me all year, man. I can't go off it now.
That's fair. 2 cents. What is your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, it's like this one's fucking with me because it's just screaming like Robertson by sub, but it's like, man, that just seems like almost too easy. Like I feel like my dumbass is just like walking into a trap with that. But like I do feel like Gillian is the side. Like on the feet, yes, she's gonna get fucked up. I just, as much as Rodriguez goes for the grappling, that is just the opportunity for Gillian to like hit a sweep, get a reversal, like snatch something and turn it into like a back take. She's just the level. I'm sorry, it is fucking night and day on the ground. I do not think it's
and like real quick, Justin's bringing up the Rose Fury grappling fight. Go back and watch that on Fight Pass, guys. I get it that it's grappling, but that's a UFC fucking champion at strawweight, and the physical difference in those two. I get it, she hadn't cut yet, but I think Gillian should have been at 150, 115 this entire time, and she got 6 finishes at a weight class above what she should have been at. She's now where she's supposed to be. I'm telling you, dude, we're gonna see the best Gillian we've seen on Saturday.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like, honestly, I think if Gillian makes it a dogfight, I think she can get it to the ground. Like she's just gonna have to take the risk, crash forward, and eat a couple. Like I think she'll really get fucked up if she tries to just stand there and box with Rodriguez. I don't think that's gonna be her game plan. It fucking better not be. But yeah, I think she's gonna find some way to get the submission. But I don't know, man. It's women's MMA. I'll either bet the Gillian sub or not anything.
Yep, fair enough. Minus 130 now on Gillian, plus 105. I did get her at plus money because as soon as I see plus money with Gillian, it's going down pretty much against anybody except Macy Barber. I did not bet her against Macy Barber, and I was correct there. There's been a couple times, but
finally a fight I have a bet on.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Lou. We are to the. Is this 205? Have they not agreed to a catch weight yet?
I think it's 205.
Yeah.
Until they agree, like Zach Cummings is like, can we do 220? Because I'm really fat now. He's on the full-on Jay Collier plan. I mean, Zach Cummings in great shape looks in terrible shape. So let me just say that, like, he always looks out of shape. So that's not really a warning here. Ed Herman is a veteran to the fullest of the extent. The Mike Rodriguez fight will remain in my soul for the rest of time. I'll be honest. That was just a horrible moment in my entire life.
Fake yam bags.
A fake yam bag that ended up working and getting him the win.
Vet savvy, Aaron. Fake yam bags is vet savvy.
Here's the thing, though. In this fight, he's going against another veteran. These guys are combined 80 years old. Like, Zach Cummings has seen it all. He hasn't seen it all at 205, but he's seen it all. God. Has anybody seen Ed Herman coming into this week? How is he looking? Is he?
Yeah, I had a beer with him, I think.
Okay, you had a beer with him. Was it a light beer?
It was a nice Keystone Light. Okay,
so no more Bud Light. Let me just, like, I didn't do tape on this fight. I started watching the Zach Cummings DiChirico fight from 2010, and I was like, wait, like, what do we do? Or 2020, whatever. Like, I went to ESPN to type it in. I was like, were they even on ESPN when this fight happened yet, or were they like back on Fuel TV? Because like Cummings is gonna walk forward, he's gonna pressure, he's gonna throw his southpaw shit. Like he's gonna win 2 or 3 rounds. One of these guys is. This is like, let's just put the split on this and just call it a day. If I have to choose, Zach Cummings is my choice because I think he's smart enough to avoid the veteran, like, tying his shoes together on the way to the ring ploys of Ed Herman. So give me Zach. No way I'm ever betting this. Split decision is the only thing I'd consider. And this better be one of the yam bags. That's all I got to say. 2 cents, get it over with.
Oh, my God. Dude, I'll tell you what. Unless you are betting some kind of, like, greasy Lou Betya prop, if you bet this fucking fight, you have a gambling problem. There is no reason to ever put any kind of money on this fight. unless you're just having some fun with it, dude, okay, this is not take your pick. This is take your fucking fade. You taking Zach Cummins coming off a 3-year layoff and fucking back surgery. He got back surgery for a slip disc, which means he got fusion surgery.
See this 2 cents?
Say what?
Look at Jack.
Yeah, so I watched interviews for both of these guys because I wanted to hear.
That's the most valuable tape on this fight.
I wanted to hear what the fucking layoffs were for. So I watched a fucking Ed Herman interview. I think it was with James Lynch. And then
why aren't you working for 3 years? What's going on?
Do you want Zach Cummins coming off a fucking 3-year layoff and back surgery? Who's like, oh, I'm kind of taking it fight. I got 2 fights left on my contract. I don't really think I'm going to take another one after this. So it's like, oh, God, you're pretty much saying you're retiring. Or are you taking Ed Herman, fucking 42 years old, hasn't fought in almost 2 years himself. You listen to those interviews, both of them are talking about, oh, yeah, I got my own promotion. Check it. Like Ed Herman's talking about more about his own fucking promotionals, like event they got coming up than his own fight. So it's like, which one of these, like, washed jobbers, like, am I fading more? I don't know. Gun to my head, just pull the trigger and shoot me, Lou.
So I'm on the Ed Herman side.
Team Quest, baby.
He's 1-0 against people named Cummings, sort of.
Cummings.
We could stretch that one. It's
Jeez.
fine.
All right.
Patrick also sick handlebar mustache when he fought in the UFC, and from right
Remember
around
when they
here.
talked about Patrick Cummins and how they're like, we can't find anybody to fight him. No,
and he's from Bucks County, Pennsylvania too, so it's a good place. It's the home of tough guys. So I like Herman. First of all, Herman's been more active. I know he hasn't fought in a year and a half, but Cummings had like a horrible back injury. I think skill for skill. I'm also like Short Fuse is like a GOAT level nickname. So I think skill for skill, he's better. I think he's more durable. Like he ate tons of leg kicks from Menafield, hung in there. Here's your sneaky. Yes, this is a Yambags play. Has to be, obviously. Here's your sneaky play. Okay. Herman submission plus 1,400. If and when this thing hits the ground, is Cummins really going to fight for like 8 minutes, like on the ground, or is he going to be like, fuck this, I'm out of here? Like, I think Herman by whatever Herman by Kimura is, if you can find that exact prop, take Herman by Kimura, probably be 50-1. Let's go. Short Fuse. He's just going right for the title again. It's going to be him against Yuri in 3 years.
Get in, losers. We're betting a 42-year-old. Okay. And Zach saying the play is Herman all day. Okay. Well,
if you have to bet this fight either way, you'd want the dog money. Like for something like that.
Minus 215.
But also keep in mind, Herman's starting off the fight winning 10-9 because he's going to get Cummings to get a point deducted.
Mm-hmm.
You already have an advantage. Like
that is the most convincing argument.
This is why I'm a rising star in the capping world. True insights like this about the Cummings record, the Insta point, the short fuse. If the sub hits though, I'll be insufferable.
If Ed Herman wins this fight,
round 3 subs plus 4,000.
If Ed Herman wins this fight in the 3rd round by sub, I will cover Short Fuse's first promotion on the channel. I'll do the full card breakdown. Like, I can't imagine the type of guys he must be getting to come to his promotion. But
I will spend the money that I win from that on my bar tab with Ed Herman.
Oh, you'll buy Ed Herman a beer. That's nice.
I'll buy him all the beer. I'll buy him a whole rack of Strohs, fire brewed, whatever he wants. He wants Mickey's grenades. I'm in. Whatever he wants. It's not going to cost a lot of money, so whatever he wants, I'm in. I can't imagine a case of beer for this guy's more than $18.
No, he's a cheap date.
Couple that with some old granddad.
Yeah, minus 215 on Zach. Attack plus 170 on Ed Herman. Let's move on to a really, really good fight.
Can I hold on? One more thing. Sorry. Just because I know that people have asked. Ed Herman, in terms of DraftKings, he's legit the cheapest guy on the slate at 6,600, and he's plus 185 odds. You're getting insane value for him, and every time he wins, he's getting 80, 90, 100 points. Like, if you want to get to all the favorites on this card, DraftKings-wise, I don't think Cummings finishes Ed Herman's. Even his floor, probably going to be 30-some points. I think Herman's like I can't believe I'm saying it like this. He's an outstanding DraftKings play because his ceiling is huge for his salary, and his floor isn't. Dude, if he gets you 35 points and you spend the minimum on him, that's great. Yeah. Like, that wins you money.
Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough. Move on to the next fight. One of the best fights on the card. Flyweights coming back. Brandon Royval making a return from a little bit of a layoff here, but I really enjoy watching him fight. Matthias Nicolaou. I don't know, man. I don't know. He's all right. He's very, very technical. He wins a lot of decisions. He didn't really win, and that kind of annoys me a little bit. And so I don't know. It's kind of one of these spots here that I think that I'm interested to see how Royval looks after the layoff, because I think that Nicolaou has a lot of moments of inactivity and moments where I think Royval can jump on. And I mean, Royval's a finisher. He's not going in there trying to win decisions. So he's very opportunistic, both with the striking and the grappling. God, I just think this one's so close. Like, Nicolaou, he's on a 6-fight win streak. You go back and watch it, and I mean, you take out the one non-UFC. But now Kopp, I think he lost that fight personally. Tim Elliott is Tim Elliott. Vorak, he made Vorak look way better than he should have, and then Kopp kind of showed how good Vorak really is. And Matt Schnell, he finished Matt Schnell, so congratulations. Matt Schnell's been finished, I think, 110 times now in his career. Matt Schnell, just very dangerous to himself. He's a hazard to himself. But yeah, Brandon Royval, kind of chinny himself, has been finished once, but that, again, was kind of a little bit of a injury situation anyways. The Pantoja fight, he did get dropped as well and then finished. Two of the best guys in the division. I am concerned. He's been off for a little bit, had some injuries he was battling back from, but I just, I really do think he's very opportunistic. I think this could look a lot like the Bontarine fight, though, where he's losing too many of the minutes to win the rounds, so he's relying too much on the finish. If it goes to a decision, I could see it being a split for Nicolaou. But I think Royval has way more of a chance of finishing him, than the other way. So I'm going with Brandon Royval by submission. I think that he's going to come back very, very hungry. I think he's ready after the layoff. He's looking like he's in good condition always. I think I don't know. But yeah, I got the submission. I got a feeling that Royval pulls it out. But if it goes to the distance, obviously Nicolaou, I think, edges it out. But I got Royval here. I don't think Nicolaou is as good an elite as a lot of people think either. So let's go with you, Lou.
Yeah, I like the under here a lot, actually. I don't know that Royval has any decision equity. If he's going to win, he's going to just absolutely blitz Nicolaou and make him pay for being somewhat low volume. But Nicolaou's skill for skill is just superior. He's superior on the feet. On the ground, I think he's better. My problem, like I said, is the low volume with Nicolaou, but and Royval gets hurt every fight. So I think the under is really the strongest play here. A lean Nicolaou. There's really no props on him I like. His distance prop isn't great. His decision prop isn't great. His money line is a parlay piece at best, but I really do like the under here. I mean, I think Royval could catch him with some weird stuff, but it's at a low clip. I think Nicolaou finishes is to me most likely.
All right. Fair enough. You got Nicolaou. Smart.
But I'm not going to bet the side. I'm just playing the under.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I don't mind. What's the under at?
Like minus 110, 120.
Okay. Yeah, it's basically the same. Okay, because the win condition for Nicolaou is the decision and the finish for it. That makes sense. 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this one?
This is a great fight, but I hate having to pick it because I don't trust either of them. Nicolaou's someone that is I always am expecting him to look better than he does. He always just kind of like gives me like a womp kind of performance, except Matt Schnell. But like Matt Schnell's chinny, and like I figured he would knock him out. Royval, man, it's almost like if the line was flipped, I would definitely want to bet Nicolau, but because Royval's the underdog, I kind of want to bet him. Like I don't feel like he should be the underdog given the level of competition he's faced and like how dangerous he is.
Do we know if it's the bigger cage this weekend? Does anybody know?
It is.
It is the bigger cage. Okay, it is normal cage. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I wasn't sure on that. That definitely is an advantage for Nicolau. But at the same point, Royval's actually longer. So it's kind of interesting there.
He's dangerous on the feet too, man. It's not like I think Nicolau's a better striker. Like I agree with what Lou said. I think like he's probably like a little bit better everywhere. Like I think Royval's probably a little bit more of a dangerous submission grappler, and he's super opportunistic. I agree with that as well. It's a very tough fight to pick. It really is. It depends on like how well Nicolau can stick to his game plan, because Royval can make it a really chaotic fight, like fucking like that. So I don't know, man. I think it's either he is kill or be killed. I would say from a betting standpoint, I don't mind the finish at all on either side. I think both of them have like value as far as like getting it. Like Royval, I could see getting a weird like club and sub. I could also see the same thing from Nicolau. Like if Nicolau hurts Royval, I think he'll probably pounce on him and choke him. But
where has Nicolau shown that killer instinct except Matt Schnell?
I know, and that's why I can't. That's why I'm like I don't want to.
Like I agree Nicolau is better everywhere except for like that part of MMA that allows for the less skilled guy to win some of these fights, which is the killer instinct. It's not even close.
No, it's not, man. Like Royval is super opportunistic. Like I think he's a live dog for sure. Royval's a super
Johnny, I get it, Johnny. Johnny is very much saying Royval is trash. Royval is terrible on the feet. All the above.
He leaves himself so wide open when he throws. Like he does not bring his hands back to his chin. He just swings from his fucking chest. It's like, dude, he's just leaving himself open to get clipped. But like you said, man, Nicolau isn't some fucking ruthless like finisher. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good fight. I need to see some Tasmanian devil dust ups going on, because if we start to see that like scramble, Royval's gonna get that sub, because Royval on the third scramble, he turns into like a different level of grappler. But he needs to get to that like tumultuous point. And I do agree it's a long shot. I'm not gonna get there on the window, I don't think, unless the money keeps coming in. If I can get a plus 200 Brandon Royval though, I'm going to take a plus 200 Brandon Royval. He's at plus 180 right now.
Well, why wouldn't you just take him in the distance though? Because you're getting like a great number unless you like just like what clip does he win a decision at?
No, I agree. Inside the distance would be, but the clip he's winning is very low amount. I do like him
plus 300 in the distance. So if you like him, I think that's an outstanding price. Like for his 90% of his win condition.
Yeah, no, I agree. So if I'm getting there, the plus 300 would be nice, but if I can just get the plus 200 straight up, I might sacrifice that just for that one off chance of that decision type of, fight that comes in. So that's just my own personal perspective. But yeah, should be a good fight. We're to the featured prelim. TJ Brown, Bill Algeo. I swear Bill Algeo and Billy Contillo, they just have to be on the cards together. Like it's in their contract. They're like, we are to be double billed. It's just, but yeah, Algeo, here's the thing about Algeo. He's long. He's very technical. He's from King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. I mean, there's so much to like about the guy, but he does not look good off his back. When he gets taken down. He also will give up his back, and the guy can kind of hang out and backpack him. And what does TJ Brown like to do? TJ Brown likes to get hit by guys who are taller than him, longer than him, better than him on the feet, work through it, get it to the ground, and hang out on a guy's back and either sub him or hang out on the guy's back and stay there. TJ Brown wins this fight with his wrestling, in my opinion. I just think that I can't trust Bill Algeo to fight this fight the way he's supposed to fight this fight, which is the floor is lava. Do not let this man get in his back and get a body triangle on you. Both those things are going to happen. I trust TJ Brown here. I was all over Eric Silva last time out, so take it with a grain of salt, because I was like, oh, man, look at this number I'm getting on Eric Silva here. Here we go. And my God, Eric Silva might be the worst guy to be signed by the UFC in 5 years. Like, seriously, since CM Punk, it might be the worst signing in the UFC. So Bill Algeo, much better, much longer guy. On the feet, he could have a field day against TJ Brown. I just think TJ Brown closes the distance and hangs out on his back, Algeo style. Give me TJ Brown by decision. Maybe even a sub, but probably just the decision. Let's be honest. And before I forget, Lando Venata getting his pants choked off him. I forgot to mention that during the fight, but never fucking forget that. I don't know why I thought about that, but yeah, just let's never forget Lando got his pants choked off him last fight. 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this wrestler versus striker matchup?
I mean, dude, it is just that. Algeo has terrible takedown defense. He has a good get-up game, but I wanted to ask you guys, and this is not like I'm asking this question in good faith. I heard some rumblings about a Bill Algeo like lingering injury because I think he got injured in the last fight or after it or something.
He broke his arm against Philly.
Okay. Is he does anyone know if he's like injured coming into this one or
he's fine?
He's fine. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So yeah, I mean if it stays on the feet, Brown's gonna get lit up. He doesn't really have good defense and he doesn't really have that great of a chin. I'd be a little more worried for him if Algeo had more power. I think that's been pretty consistent about Bill. Like he just doesn't have a ton of pop in his punches. But yeah, on the ground, man, TJ is just a frustrating wrestler. He just holds guys down and tries to slowly but surely move to, pass the guard and get to the arm triangle. It might just be like a boring, like TJ Brown decision where there's like multiple stand-up warnings and that, or it's 3 rounds on the feet and Algeo just tunes him up because Brown does gas. It's not like, I don't think he's a death gasser like some people say, but Algeo clearly has the cardio advantage. So it's kind of like, where's the fight going to take place? If Algeo can't keep it on the feet, I think Brown's probably going to win a decision.
Lou.
Well, I don't agree with any of this.
It's like asking me about a Gillian Robertson fight.
So full disclosure, I am completely biased here as I am friends with the guy that Algeo owns gyms with. I know people in the camps work there. Mm-hmm. I know what kind of psychos this Nook Thai style is. It's like these guys are like badass dudes. So I'm going to just always root for Algeo. Also, fun fact, my friend that I'm talking about was in Algeo's corner last fight, and he got mad at me for saying he looked ugly. It's not my fault. Well, it's not my fault he looked ugly. He should have not been as ugly. He should have been less ugly. So if I have to break down the actual fight, what does Algeo do poorly? Gets taken down. What does Brown, if he does anything well, what is it? Goes for takedowns. But Brown is not good at holding people down. He makes tons of mistakes. And Algeo, great get-up game, way better cardio, clear advantage on the feet, and he's just tougher. He's tougher than TJ Brown. What's that?
Live bet possibility?
Yeah, well, I'm going to bet it like in a same game parlay and just say Algeo like an over 1 round. I think Algeo round 2 is totally live because I just don't trust Brown's cardio. And if Algeo can get up all day, and he's going to be fine in the 3rd round. He's going to be fine in the 2nd round. We've seen Brown get tired. Brown was tired against Charles Rosa, who came in on short notice. Like, still won the fight, but dude, you got tired by I don't know what you were doing, trying to secure positions on the ground against a bum. So I don't think Algeo has this massive ceiling in the UFC. I think he's going to be one of these dudes like Darren Elkins, they're just watching fight. It's I'm saying, just a guy who whenever I know he's fighting, I'm like, yes, there's no title implications. It's just my dude's going to fight and it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I love, we got talking about Billy Quarantillo soon. I don't think Quarantillo is going to ever be a top 5 guy, But he's another guy that, like, he's fighting. I'm excited. So I think Algio outlasts him. His round 2 prop is plus 750. I'll be giving that away on props to consider, yams to consider, and then maybe bag. And I forgot, Royval Nicolau is a yam bag contender as well, since it does fit the southpaw versus orthodox criterion that we've come up with at the school. But give me Algio in like over 1 round on the same game. I think gets you to like even money. It seems about right. I wouldn't live bet him because I think he can win the first round at like a relatively like high clip.
Okay, fair enough. So 2 of us on Brown, 1 on Algio minus 200 plus 160.
I mean, Algio probably shouldn't be minus 200 against anybody, by the way. Like, so I get it. Like, I think it's a wide line for Algio, and a lot of money's coming on him, which makes me nervous. But
definitely. I think this could be a really entertaining fight. I wouldn't be surprised if this one fight of the night if TJ kind of decides I'm tired of wrestling, let's go in and just throw down, and you see kind of the bloody, you see the bloody Algio here. But yeah, I got TJ getting the wrestling shoes on. Wrestling shoes are staying on most likely for the next fight. This is the first fight on the main card. Clay Guida. Versus Rafa Garcia. Man, I don't really know what to think about this fight. What Chris Grutzmacher did to Rafa is hard to forget. And Clay Guida is a better version of Chris Grutzmacher, right? I don't know, maybe. Rafa Garcia just gifted. I don't know if that would be the right word yet. He's been okay so far in the UFC. It's been up and down. He beat Jesse Ronson, who wasn't on steroids, so that's good. Lost a decision to Drakkar Klose in 2022. That's bad.
Why is it bad?
Drakkar Klose sucks in 2022, dude. He's not someone you should be losing to. No, right. Coming off of like multiple back surgeries that he was coming off of, spinal. That's why. And Drakkar Klose just, I don't know. That was a fight to me that Rafa, I think, could have really looked a lot better. Against Machate, he, fought very well, but still slows down in every single fight. It's a concern of mine for him overall. He's going against a senior citizen in Clay Guida, though. Like, seriously. Clay Guida at this point in his career, like, I'm out. I just can't believe him. He's in his 61st fight. He's losing to Chase Hooper in grappling. He did beat a retiree in Scott Holtzman. He's now going against a guy who is much younger, much more aggressive. Probably going to get a finish in Rafa Garcia. Scott Holtzman was retired when he beat him. Clay Guida's not winning a fight against Rafa Garcia here. Like, maybe he hangs around, makes it to the bell, but I think Rafa finishes this in 2 rounds. So I'd like to see Rafa keep it on the feet. He doesn't need to mix in the grappling at all. That's the only chance Clay Guida has of winning this one. So give me Rafa by TKO. I think he's going to send the legend out on his shield, so to speak. Lou, you going with the Clay Guida sombrero here?
This is not the Clay Guida sombrero. This is the Rafa Garcia sombrero. I wasn't going to put it on, but Jack demanded it in the chat. Yep. So I had to pull it out. I think Garcia gets a finish here. A couple things I'm going to say that are not – I don't want to say anything bad about Guida. It's one of my all-time favorites. Yeah, he's getting older. His skills are diminished. I mean, his cardio is starting to diminish, which has been his biggest skill. Garcia's only 28. He's still improving. I don't think the Klose loss is nearly as bad. I think Klose's skill set is good. He's not a top guy yet, but his closest skill set is still pretty good, especially on the feet. What I like now, Garcia's training at elevation. He's training with some really good dudes. Like, he's working on his cardio. Again, he's still 28 years old, man. Like, he's going to improve. Like, the Grutzmacher fight, which I still think he won that fight anyway, it's bad luck in the 3rd round. Like, don't get me wrong. But wasn't that his first fight in the UFC? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's 24 making his debut. Guys improve. Like, his pacing. And did he look tired against Mahashate? I would hope he would. If you're not tired in the third round of that kind of fight, dude, I mean, you're not doing it right. That was just
enormous.
That was just an absolute goddamn war. So, like, being tired in that one in the third round. And look, he still fought through being fatigued, threw more volume in the third round, like, gutted it out. So, I don't think he's going to have to worry about a third round here, if I'm being honest. I think he gets this done in the first 2 rounds. And Guida, at this point, the last time he tapped was, like, immediate. Like, it's like he's conserved. Well, it's almost like he's conserving at this point in his career. He's like,
he tapped against Hooper quick, too.
Lost, move on to the next one. Like, don't take any damage at this age.
He's fought 60 times.
Yeah, but I think that he still probably has.
Times.
He's probably losing. As long as he doesn't suffer any kind of major damage or injuries, he could probably get another 3, 4, 5 fights at UFC. And he's always going to be a guy that we want to see fight until it's like pathetically sad, but still want to see him fight. I think if Garcia gets him in one really bad spot on the ground, where he like threatens a sub, that Garcia could just be like, all right, like I'm trapped.
I really like the spot for Rafa.
So, the sub at plus 400, I would need more meat on the bones. Like I want a little more. I'll have to see what FanDuel puts out for a sub 1-2. If you're giving me like 6-1, I love it. But I'm big on Rafa here.
Yeah, this is one of the spots on the card I actually do feel pretty good about. 2 cents, you with us on Rafa? Or you going with the legend?
Man, Clay made me some money last time against Holtzman, so it's very tempting to take Guida because I think he's the better grappler, but he's also fucking old, like you said. Like, what's the common denominator in all of Clay's wins in like the last 6 years?
Jobbers.
They're all old and washed as fuck, and Eric Koch's a total jobber. So yeah. Yeah, fucking Eric Koch. So
him and Josh Crispy were the guys at featherweight at one point.
And the dude he beat before that was Robbie Peralta. So yeah, it's Rafa's fight to lose. He doesn't have a ton of knockouts, but like Lou said, Clay is like we're reaching the point of diminishing returns, or we've already reached it. And I think it's gonna go down bad for him. But we'll see, man. I mean, hopefully Clay can kind of make it ugly and get it to the ground, and who the fuck knows. But yeah, I think Rafa's aside.
Yep, we're all on Rafa minus 250. The time to become a parlay piece is passing us by the moment. Plus 195 now on Clay Guida. He's going to be plus 200 soon. It's a shame, but it is what it is. This is how you go out in MMA. Moving on to the next fight here. This is a good fight, I think. This is going to be a way more competitive fight than a lot of people seem to be giving it credit for. Chris Gutierrez taking on Pedro Munoz, the Young Punisher. Has he changed that nickname yet? Is it still the Young Punisher? Is he still the Young Punisher?
It's like Kid Rock. It's time. It's time to, change it.
Time to grow up. But the Young Punisher at 36 and a half years old taking on the 31-year-old who made everybody really sad in New York City when he absolutely killed Frankie Edgar. 19-3-2 now for him. He's looked really good since that first round against Cody Durden, if I'm being honest. I don't know how much longer I can hold that against him either. Dude's got sick leg kicks, throws him every fight, has really good distance management. Pedro Munoz also throws good leg kicks. I think Pedro Munoz is a little slower, has to be a little closer. Those are kind of the problems here. The thing I also like about Gutierrez since the Colares fight is the finishing ability, much more aggressive, albeit one was against a retiring Frankie Edgar. Still, I mean, it's a really impressive finish there. The Danan fight, really good to withstand the first round the way he did and use his cardio and then put on the aggressiveness here. Pedro Munoz getting close to the end here, my friend. 2 straight losses, including a loss to Dominic Cruz. And then, the Sean O'Malley fight, that was just a weird fight. He exclusively threw leg kicks the whole fight. I don't know if he threw a headshot Or if he did, I don't know if he landed a head.
It's actually been scored a loss since, by the way. The Tapology has it wrong, but the Sugar State Athletic Commission actually scored it as a win for Sean O'Malley, just to
Got it. Got it. So Munoz didn't really look like he got eye poke there. That's pretty concerning that he was quitting that fight the way he was regardless. I think that this is just a fight I'm going to stay away from, though. I do think that Gutierrez should roll in this one. And I do not – I just don't think he gets the finish. So I think Gutierrez by decision seems like it's the most likely outcome here. But you've seen the line. It sucks. So what are we going to do here? 2 cents.
This line is fucked. I think Pedro Munoz is such a fucking live dog. I might even bet. I don't know if I'm going to pick him in Mecca, but I can – now, trust me, I can see a Chris Gutierrez path to victory, a very clear path. I hate Chris Gutierrez, like not as a person but as a fighter. I hate the fucking way he fights. I mean, yeah, he's gotten a little bit more aggressive against like the weakest, oldest, most chin-checked, fragile version of Frankie Edgar ever, coming off two of the most devastating knockouts in UFC history against an old fucker. Like, I don't think Chris Gutierrez is all of a sudden some, like, KO god. Munoz is fucking tough. It depends on what kind of fight it is. If Munoz can't cut the cage off, it's going to be Chris Gutierrez via electric slide. Shout out to Noah Allen. But I don't know, man. From a betting standpoint, I'm probably going to pull a little something on Pedro Munoz because I think the line should be flipped. Given the experience he's had, man, this one's kind of giving me a little Rob Font, Adrian Yanez vibes, dude. So yeah, I think from betting standpoint, give me Munoz, but I may pick Gutierrez because he'll probably just win a fucking annoying gay ass decision.
I like how Gutierrez fights a lot, so I don't have any problem with it. And the last couple of fights, I think much more aggressive. So, but Lou, what's your thoughts on this one? I'm sure you agree about the line at least sucking.
Yeah, and it sucks even more because not only do I still like Munoz's talent, but Gutierrez, like, she still gives away rounds. And in a fight that I think goes to a decision at an insanely high clip, I just don't like that for a guy who's more than a 2-1 favorite here. So Gutierrez probably wins. I'm not going to bet it pre-fight. I mean, I don't see a 10-8 either way here. So I can't really get behind the draw. But if Gutierrez loses the first round, like he did against Dana Batgari, and you get him at a decent price live, I think he's worth a poke. I think he will take over. I like his cardio. I think if he does start landing leg kicks in the second, it's going to pay dividends in the third. And yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Gutierrez live, probably wins the decision, like you said, at a pretty high clip.
Yep, minus 210 plus 170 on Mr. Munoz here. So should be a good fight. Now we're on to the weird 205 section of the fight card where, like, yeah, I mean, this is a 205-pound fight here. I don't know why it's this high on the card. Tanner Boser making his light heavyweight debut in the UFC. He has fought light heavyweight before, so that's good. He looks like he's in good shape. I mean, we don't know how that's going to transfer to 15 minutes. Jan Kutalaba fights with the IQ of a foot. So we'll take that to mean what you want it to be. I mean, I'm guessing that Jan doesn't wrestle in this spot or be able to be successful with the wrestling. So it turns into kind of just a stand-up affair. In that case, I think Tanner Boser uses the leg kicks, maybe has the power to be able to finish Jan second round or go to a decision. Never betting this fight ever. I don't really know what the game plan is. I don't know how Tanner is going to look here. But I just think Tanner is going to be the more technical striker, and that's going to be enough to get a decision. But shit. Lou?
Oh, well, this is a yam bag. I mean, like,
Okay.
I want to just rename this the Kutiyaba if you get a 10-8 in the first, but then it becomes a 9-8 because of a foul at the end. I feel like that should be the Kutayaba because that should be capped at like -120 happening. Yeah, I can't pick two Canadians on one card. Like, not now, not ever. Okay. So I'm gonna pick Kutayaba as the guy who's fought at this weight class, who is more dangerous. I mean, what's Kutayaba's big problem? That he gasses out. Bozer's not like some finisher, and he's not some high volume guy.
Decent volume,
but not like. But he's pitter patter volume. He's not like.
No, I agree, but that's still like, hey, you know, like still strikes. He's
like I think if you like Bozer, then like you like the over. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like I think like Johnny's talking about draws. I mean. 10-8 Kutayaba in the first and Bozer in the next two.
Like 10-8 to heavyweight coming down, and then the heavyweight recovers to win the last two. That just seems odd.
But Bozer's always been a smaller heavyweight, so like you know what I mean. Like he's always been like a slimmer heavyweight than most. Like he's never come in at 265. But the guy always fights heavyweight at like 225 or whatever. So like Kutayaba is a gas bag. The problem I have is if you try to bet Bozer live, they're catching on. I think Bozer like live after one's going to be like -130.
No matter what happens, his odds are going to go up here.
Like I don't think you're going to get a discount for waiting, but I think it draws live. I mean, I'm done betting Kutayaba in my life.
Good, so thank God.
I'm like,
oh God.
Like I'm done betting this clown. You know, he's not the proletariat bear of Moldova. So
he's the most popular Moldovan fighter.
Well, I think we have two Moldovans, and I've gotten to use this reference at least 5 times since we started.
I think there's 4 in the UFC, or 4. I think Spivak, Romanov, Kutayaba. I think there's one more.
There's a girl I think from Moldova.
So, yeah, and there's one more.
I just can't remember. But I'm gonna say Yambags and fuck it. Let's pick the draw. Let's do it.
Yambags in the draw. Beautiful.
Draw bags.
All right. You're not from Moldova, 2 cents, are you?
Sadly, no.
Shocking.
I know. Everyone's stunned to hear that. So yeah, this one is a weird fight, man. I don't know, like, so Bozer's going down to 205. This, like, against heavyweights, Bozer, like, he has okay power, but he's not really a knockout artist unless you're chinny. But the problem here is Kutayaba is chinny, man, and he's a fucking quitter too. So like, this is a situation where it's like, if I trusted Bozer a little bit more, I'd say he just knocks him the fuck out. Like Kutayaba has shown me plenty of times that like, if you put it on his chin and give him a tough enough fight, he'll look for a way out. But he has a clear path with the grappling here. Bozer does not have very good takedown defense against good grapplers. Like, dude, he could fucking wrestle him to death here. I just don't know if he will. Like, it's hard to trust either guy, honestly. I fucking hate this fight. This is one I hope falls out. I really hope this one falls out.
Oh no, I need the Bozer 205 debut to get over with. I don't need to break down another fight and be like, I don't know what he's gonna look like. We
need to have it in the history books.
Yeah, I need to have it. And if he pulls out, Giles should take the fight on short notice.
Dude, if Kutayaba grapples, it's his fight to lose, but he's a dumbass, so he's probably
not gonna grapple.
He's a dumb fuck. Like, he's just gonna probably let Bozer knock him out, or like, and he has bad cardio too. Like, he falls off a cliff. I don't know, man. I hate this fight.
You got Kutayaba at -130, Bozer at +110. God bless. Good luck. And we're going to move on to another scallywag of a 205 fight, but this is a good one. I actually am really excited about this one. Dustin Jacoby, probably in my top 5 205ers, if I'm being honest. Like, that's probably more a reflection of how bad the 205 division is, but he's just really, really fun to watch. Really, really good volume. He's very technical. He always gets hurt in fights, but tends to survive it. Jan Kutayaba almost got him out of there in their fight, speaking of which. So that's my main worry is he going to survive the early kind of onslaught of Mirzakhanov? Because Mirzakhanov hits hard and hits from a lot of different angles. He's pretty unpredictable. Trains with Yanal Asimov over in New Jersey, I believe, like with a bunch of other Russians. They've just like moved into New Jersey, kind of like how the Brazilians moved into Connecticut. I really like camps like that. I just think that Azamat, Dustin has shown he's very hittable, especially early. As the fight goes on, Dustin's going to get into a groove more and more. So give me Azamat by KO, round number 1. Let's go. If Dustin survives, Dustin moves on and puts him probably away late in the second or third. But I'm going to go with Azamat to catch him something nasty, round 1. 2 cents, right? Yeah, 2 cents first. And then Blue's ready to yell at me or something. I don't know what I did.
So what?
Blue's ready to yell at me, so I'm excited to hear what he has
Are
to
you
say.
trying to be more of a Dustin Jacoby fan than me?
I picked Azamat, though.
No, man. I really like Dustin Jacoby, too.
I love him.
Someone like I like rooting for him. He's someone that I think always gets underrated. Every time someone talks about Justin Jacoby, they're like, "Oh, dude, he was in glory, but he wasn't really that fucking good. Like Pereira knocked him out." It's like, God damn, dude. That's your fucking that's your litmus test is fucking Pereira. Like, Jesus Christ. But anyways, man, I think this is a dangerous fight for Jacoby. But if it's at range, they're just having a kickboxing match. Dustin Jacoby is going to fucking win this fight. He's got a 7-inch reach advantage, and he works behind a really nasty jab. You mentioned Jacoby being hittable. Fucking Azamat is hittable too, man. Like, he was getting tuned up by Tafon. He's been getting tuned up in quite a few of these fights. And if that's Jacoby sitting there fucking painting your face up, like, I don't know, man. For Azamat to win this, he's got to make it ugly. He's got to make it a dogfight. He's got to, like, crash the distance.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a 50-50, man. I think it's 50-50. Azamat sells out, which he tends to do, fucking nukes Jacoby. And Jacoby's been knocked out before. He got knocked out a few times in kickboxing. Mm-hmm. But if they're just having a fucking point fight, Jacoby's going to light him up. And I think there's a chance Jacoby could knock him out too, man. So it's really just who gets their game off first. I'm waffling on this one really bad. I'm trying to, like, keep my Jacoby, like, stand-em away from it as much as I can and just be like, okay, who's going to implement their game plan better? But I think that's really what it comes down to. What are the odds again on this one? Who's the favorite? Is it Jacoby? Isn't he a slight favorite?
I mean, money's been coming in on Azamat, but Jacoby minus 165 right now.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'd be scared to parlay Jacoby because of the Azamat KO threat, but like Azamat KO is definitely not a bad stab. Actually, the Jacoby KO might be kind of sneaky, man, because if Azamat doesn't nuke him, he does kind of leave himself open, and Jacoby is the much cleaner technical boxer and kickboxer. So I don't know, man. I'm really stoked for this fight. It's probably one of the fights I'm most pumped about.
Yeah, much better 205 fight here. Lou, you were shaking your head a lot as I talked. Sometimes that's because I've taken what you were going to say. Sometimes because you really disagree. I don't know. We haven't talked about this fight. What's your thoughts?
How dare you two call yourself Jacoby stands when my best friend in this space is his training partner, Mr. Cody Brundage. So the last time Jacoby fought, when he fought to Unjung, everybody was on to Unjung and the market was moving away from him. I asked Cody, I'm like, did he lose a limb? Because I don't understand the line movement. He goes, dude, I've never seen him look better in a camp. And then he went out there and won in a minute. So if this is just a kickboxing fight, as just my 2 cents said, he's a credentialed kickboxer too. He's more experienced. He's credentialed. Johnny brought it up in chat. He's a huge reach advantage here. I mean, it's his fight to lose, and I think this line isn't wide enough. I think he could
7-inch reach advantage.
I mean, honestly, I think he probably wins decision. I mean, Mursakanov's undefeated, never been finished. So I have no reason to think that Jacoby, who is not a tremendous finisher in general, but I think he can easily win this 15 minutes. I'm the queen of name dropping. Okay, Johnny Popeye.
Trying to big league us, dude.
Yeah, this guy. the guy that said bet the draw in the Gutierrez fight.
Yes. And Azamat is 34 years old. Jacoby is 35 as well. And it's K Dojo Warrior. That's where all those Russians are going in Jersey. Should be a good fight. Minus 165. Jacoby plus 140 on Azamat. Money has come in on Azamat. We got quite a few dogs so far on this card. This should be an interesting.
There we go.
We got Edson Barboza taking on Billy Q. Is Edson done? Or does he have more time left in the sunlight? I think this fight will tell us a lot, but Billy Q, do you want to cue it up, Lou? I mean, this is your guide. Do you want me to set it up?
I mean, he's like, I would tell you to live bet him after one, but they're catching on to that too. So
yeah.
They already know.
Yeah.
It's the big problem. But my bigger concern is if Barbosa hasn't had a round 1 KO in a really long time. I mean, but he did get Burgos round 3. Look, Billy Q's problem is he's just talk about a guy that's hittable. This guy is so hittable. And he's hittable past the first round. The problem is usually it's a huge cardio advantage. If Barbosa paces himself well, he's super live to win the first 2 rounds and then hope to hang on. I think this goes to decision more often than not. I know Barbosa's getting older, but Billy Q, like, again, why is he finishing people? Because they completely gas out. Barbosa showed his tank's still kind of all right. So if he's there in the 3rd round, even if his volume goes down, I don't think Billy Q's going to be throwing 100 punches. Barbosa works the body really well, which not a lot of people do to Billy Q. I think he can sap a little bit of his tank. And, last thing about Billy Q, as much as I love him, like, how many wars can you have before the chin and the durability starts to, take some dents? Like, every fight, I mean, even against Hernandez, he took a beating for 5 minutes. Like, always takes a beating that it's aging him poorly. So I'm going to pick Billy Q here. I do think he could take over in the 2nd round, win a 3rd, probably Billy Q by decision. But man, dude, Barbosa's dangerous. Like, don't do the usual live bet on Quarantillo after round 1. I don't think you're going to get a good price, and I don't think Barbosa's round 1 and bust here.
Yeah, I think that I agree. Yeah, I agree for the most part with what you had to say. I think this is an extremely close fight. For me, I am not going to be betting this one. If I was betting it, I would be betting Barboza. I do think the decision is very, very live, but I do think the KO also is very live, especially with how hittable he is. I think since Barboza's been down at 145, it's very clear that a huge amount of his focus has gone onto the cardio, probably as a result of having to keep his body leaner and everything like that. I just think, again, he is much better suited later in his career to be at 145. Not as hard of hitters, more like fights going longer into the distance, later into the fights type of thing. Billy Q round 3 is kind of tempting and interesting to me. But at the same point, I'm going to edge with Edson here. I do think he's still got a lot left. I think this is the type of level that he really puts on a good showing. I'll say Edson by decision, but the KO would not surprise me here. Billy is just too hittable to me, and I just think one of the worst things you can be against Edson Barboza is hittable, because I don't see Edson Gatson. So I like Edson quite a bit. I'm not quite to a window yet, but I'm thinking about it. 2 cents.
Yeah, this is another one where it's like I might bet one way and pick another for Mecca, because man, Billy hasn't been knocked out that many times. He's been head kicked once, but man, you go back and watch those Shane Burgos fights. Like, Edson had a war with Shane, but ended up putting him away. Like, Billy had a war with Shane, and he just wasn't standing up to it as well. Like, yeah, you can only get in so many wars. Like, I don't know. I don't think Barboza is completely done, but I don't really like his chin either. And Billy Quarantillo is the kind of fighter that can come on late. Barboza, if you look at it on paper, he's the side. And considering he's the underdog, it almost is like it's almost forcing my hand to put a little something on Edson. I may end up picking Billy for the Mecca just because I'm waffling on that still, but like it's one of those where it's like I'm terrible at picking Billy Quarantillo fights. I don't like it's just I don't hate the guy. I think he's kind of a jobber, and like he's everyone's best friend on Twitter, so everyone sucks his ass. And I just think he's a little overrated. But he is dogged, and he does have good cardio, and he does like he is famous for like coming on late in fights after surviving storms. But dude, Edson Barboza is a hell of a storm to try and just trudge through if you're like a heavy bag like he is, especially first round, dude. I don't know, man. I'm probably going to take some kind of stab on Barbosa, but haven't completely made my mind up on the pick.
Has Billy Q ever won a first round?
Never. He was getting beat the fuck out.
Has he ever won a first round?
I think he lost to Kilburn in the first round. Pretty sure. I was there.
He lost to Spike Carlisle in the first round.
He almost got 10-8'd by Carlisle. He got essentially 10-8'd by Carlisle.
I have no problem with that. Spike Carlisle in the first round is an incredible fighter.
He's a mythical creature.
And now he's learning how to fight. I want Spike Carlisle back in the UFC. I want to see him back against Billy Q.
Losing the first round of Burgos is, that's fine. That's forgivable. Mm-hmm. But I just want to I want to know, all right.
Maybe Kilburn. Maybe
Moogly. Nah, he beat Moogly in the first because he was kicking Moogly's ass the whole time.
Yes, that's true.
And maybe Kyle Nelson, but even that one, if he did, it was close.
Might have been 2-1 on the scorecards, but yeah, good. I think this is a very good co-main event. I think I think that most likely goes over, but both guys have some decent finishing potential as well. Main event, we're staying in the 145 division. Max Holloway, Arnold Allen. Yeah, I don't know about this fight. I'm just not quite sure about what Arnold Allen's game plan is over 5 rounds here against Max Holloway, because he's just too low on the volume for me. That I just feel like Max is going to be filling in a lot of the kind of moments where Arnold's looking to kind of move and get into, position to, put his offense on. I think Max is going to be out striking him pretty routinely throughout that. Obviously, we've seen some good shots from Arnold Allen against Dan Hooker. That's great. I think Calvin Kattar was not healthy going into that fight. Didn't look like Calvin Kattar throughout that first round. Maybe that was Arnold Allen doing that. Either way, I just don't see Arnold being able to do that against Max. He's just very inconsistent as well. He's actually consistent. He fights once or twice a year usually. Gets a bunch of fights canceled for different reasons. But he's beating a good level of competition. He's slowly been working up to the Max Holloway fight. I think Max is the type of matchup that's going to be very, very hard for Allen to overcome. Max probably wins a decision in this spot. But, if Allen looks to really wrestle and go to the grappling, I'd be interested to see how Max responds to that. But, for the most part, Arnold likes to kind of keep it on the feet. He's opportunistic with his submissions, against Mads Burnell. But, yeah. I wanted to get to the window on Arnold. I'm going to go with Max. I'm going to go with him by decision. But Arnold is, this could be a crossroads fight, and we could see kind of the new breed taking over here. Even though Arnold Allen's only a couple years younger than Max Holloway, the mileage on the two is very, very wide. So I'll go to you, Lou. What's your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you the way I'm going to play it first, because the way I'm going to play it will be some kind of a same game play involving Holloway strikes, especially in the first round. Just go with some of the historical trends that he has, where you don't have to pick a winner in the same game. Just an over and the strikes, you'd probably be able to get some kind of good price, close to even money. The line is just so weird. Holloway should be such a bigger favorite here, and they're just saying that the damage, basically this line's capped just because of the damage he's taken from Volk. So I don't know, man. I think it's going to be more competitive. But Allen just doesn't, the problem is Allen doesn't fight enough, frequently enough for me to ever really back him with confidence. He's looked good when he's fought. Beating Dan Hooker was, knocking Dan Hooker out as quick as he did was impressive. But the Sadiq Youssef win, absolutely outstanding win. I'm big on Sadiq Youssef as a fighter, so it's a great win. It's a big level up, and this is a big. How's Allen going to look in the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th rounds of this fight, right, when he's been hit by more jabs than he's ever been hit with in his life? So, I like Holloway decision. I want to get there. Just this line is kind of something in the back of my head that says there's something off. But this
feel the same way. Yep, I feel the exact same way. 2 cents. you're obviously picking Max and Mecca, but what's your thoughts on the fight outside of Mecca?
This is a tough one for me, man. I'm a big old salty boy Holloway stan. I still maintain that he won the second Volk fight. I thought that was a bullshit fucking robbery. Max 1, 2, 3 till the day I die. But nah, man. In all seriousness, I think Arnold Allen gets fraud checked here. I think there's a chance Max could knock him out too. I don't know if I'm gonna pick that in Mecca. That'll be real risky. But dude, he sold out for the KO against Hooker, and Hooker buzzed him too. Like, I just don't know if he's gonna be able to sit there and like take a series of 1-2s from Max. Like Arnold Allen is a good fighter. Sadiq Youssef is a great win. Like, Hooker is all right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the Cater win, I don't even count that because Cater was a dumbass and like hurt his leg. Like, it's being a retard. So like, I think it's too much of a jump, man. Like, Max, yes, he's taking a lot of damage. And finish that sentence, against the greatest fucking featherweight that's probably ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think Arnold Allen is that level yet. I think he gets exposed. I think there's a good chance Max could finish him, but I don't know. I'll probably go Max decision.
Yep. Yeah, we all wanted to get there on Allen. None of us could. Minus 185 on Holloway, plus 150 on Arnold Allen. Again, really interesting spot there. Really quick, and then we're going to take off the 5-piece, which, Lou, do you mind doing the honors of this? By the way, this is only my and Zhang-Li's. Lou does not participate in this.
I'm doing a 5-piece what? Yam bags?
No, my money line, my 5-piece Zhang-Li money line parlay. It's the classic.
You're gonna take. Well, you don't take any dogs in these typically. You're gonna take Gillian.
Oh, so we got Bruna. We got Bruna Brazil.
Okay, Gillian. I'm sure.
We got Gillian.
Probably Ed Herman.
No, I don't have
Rafa Garcia, Chris Gutierrez.
Correct. And then our dog on the parlay is going to be Edson Barboza.
Oh, Real Madrid just scored again. That's awesome.
That's great. And what does that bring us to, Lou?
Oh, no, that's the other beer. I have no idea. I didn't type it in.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll take care of it.
Why am I being put to work for this stuff?
I got it. It's fine. So we got Edson Barboza. We've got Chris Gutierrez, Rafa Garcia. We've got Gillian, of course, and Bruna. The 5-piece Zhang-Li money line parlay comes to the grand total of $13.50 for 5-piece. Again, if you want to join Zhang-Li and I, we've got Gillian, we've got Bruna Brazil, we've got Chris Gutierrez, we've got Rafa Garcia, and Edson Barboza, plus $13.50. Lou, what's going on for you the rest of the week?
I have no idea. I'm doing the prop show tonight with Couch Warrior and Johnny K Picks. Just got to complete the Jewish cycle of my day.
Yes. Big day of Jews. It's like a ship.
And then I usually do a new Thursday show with Gordo, but Gordo is taking exams because he is 15 years old. Yeah. So I will probably do that show. And Monk is moving, so I'm doing the Friday show at 5:30 all alone. I may just combine all my shows into the 5:30 show. Really make it easy.
The sad hour this week. All right, 2 cents. What's going on with you the rest of the week?
Man, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the weigh-in show or not. I feel like I've given away too much as it is. Nah, man, in all seriousness, thank you for having me. It's always a good time. I appreciate the spot on the panel. Lou, always a good time. Shout out to the chat. Best of luck. This is such a weird card, man. It feels like a lot of trap spots. I'm probably like parlays burned me like a mug last week, so I might do one, but I'll probably just take a couple stabs on some dogs. But thanks again for having me, man, and best of luck, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a reminder, tomorrow I'll be back about 4:30, 5 o'clock with Lucky Locks for the LFA breakdown show. Guaranteed moneymaker. We've got pretty closely lined LFA in some spots, especially in the main event. Also, we'll cover the PFL picks on that as well tomorrow, 4:30, 5 o'clock. So for just my 2 cents, for Betya, for Aaron the dog, until next time, we're out. Peace out, everybody.